Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with this week's My 2 Cent video, where I take a look at actually 3 stories that came out this week that caught my attention, and I thought I would give you my opinion of. Again, this is the Switch and Gaming My 2 Cent video. So, why don't we start off with the first one, and the first one is a report coming out that apparently Google, which is known for the search engine and other stuff, and also the folks who own YouTube, might be making their own console. So, in an article posted on the Daily Star, to point out, it's basically stating that Google to rival PlayStation, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch with new game console. And points out that the search engine giant is already battling Amazon in a war over the voice assistant speaker, Apple in the ISO versus Android Pixel phone saga, and laptop rivals with its Pixelbook device. But industry insiders now believe that the mega firm is going to announce a big foray, F-O-R-A-Y, pardon me if I'm saying the name wrong, into gaming, and it could even lead to a Google Box console machine. The company raised eyebrow this week after hiring game industry veteran Phil Harrison. He's taking up a role as vice president and general manager at the Internet Beast California headquarters. Harrison is known for a 15-year tenure as Sony Networks of Game Studios. He was vital to the development of the PlayStation console brand. In addition, he's also spent 3 years as senior executive at Microsoft's Xbox team, so he knows a bit about gaming though. Harrison recently announced on Twitter, excited to be able to share that today I started a new role as Vice President and GM of Google and relocated back to California. And industry experts now believe with the Game Development Conference just around the corner that Google is planning to unveil a new gaming division to rival Xbox One, PlayStation, and Nintendo. One of the persons at VentureBeat recently wrote, "I think it's a good time to start speculating about what's coming in the future, and a number of people I know in the game industry are already doing that." Now, before I begin, it's worth pointing out that this comes from the Daily Star, which has ran interesting articles such as newborn baby's head deliberately squashed by giggling nurse in horror video, Rachel Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, to be axed from Countdown, fans panic for her future in F1 band Furor, and others such as someone finding a gateway to another dimension, and so on. So, in other words, a long story short, though, it comes from the Daily Star UK, so I take that kind of information with a grain of salt right out of the gate. So I do want to say where this information comes from. If you want to read it yourself, I have a link in the description. You can check it out yourself. As far as Google entering in the race, though, despite this story coming from the Daily Star, I wouldn't rule out of the realm of possibility that Google could, if they wanted to, enter into the console race. I believe they, along with Amazon and Apple, they do have the money. If they want to enter in, they could enter into the console race. Now, if they do, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they do actually compete against Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, or if they do something like a Android-based device, or do something similar to what the NVIDIA Shield was in any way. So, there is that speculation. There's also also the possibility that they could be, maybe they're deciding, hey, we're going to have our own game development studio. We're going to develop for consoles and PC. So there's that speculation too. Even maybe, maybe they're not doing any gaming thing at all. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're doing something different. I've heard stories about them probably doing something with augmented reality, or maybe it has nothing to do with gaming at all. So as far as this goes, I'm not 100% sure if this is true or anything like that. But I'm certainly not ruling out the possibility that Google could, if they want to, enter in the console race. Whether or not this will have a big impact or not will remain to be seen, and we don't know if this will pose an immediate threat to Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo right now. So at this moment, it's purely speculation, at least from what I'm seeing though. But like I said, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that they could, and I mean they could, basically make their own game console. Whether they compete against the big three or whether they do something completely different, who knows. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but being it's from the Daily Star, I would take it with a bit of grain of salt on this one. So I'm a little cautious about this story though, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility that it could be true as well. Okay, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back, we're going to get to a report coming out over Nintendo's financial earnings, and this one's actually been pretty good. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at Nintendo's financial reports. For those of you who are aware, they released their financial earnings for this week, and I have to say, for their new system, the Nintendo Switch, that has been out in less than a year, it's already February, so next month will be the 1-year anniversary of it. It seems to be doing pretty well, and these might actually be some very good numbers for them though. So according to their financial reports, according to what they are saying though, the Nintendo Switch, let's see, in terms of dedicated, okay, here it is. Before we begin with the Switch, let's start first off with the Nintendo 3DS, which, as of where it stands, since this was posted as of December 31st, 2017, Nintendo 3DS hardware sales sits at 71.99 million units sold, with software at 360.50 million units though. The Wii U life, or at least their lifetime sales, still sits at 13.56 million units sold, with a software sold of 101.65 million units. Now, I want you to remember the 13.56 million, because we're now going to get to the Nintendo Switch. First off, the software part, basically 52.57 million units sold, and the hardware, 14.86 million units sold, at least as of this writing from December 31st, 2017 though. If this number is correct, 14.86 million, or if that number has gone up since this has been reported, then that means the Nintendo Switch basically did what took the Wii U about 4 to 5 years in the system's lifespan. The Switch managed to overtake the Wii U in less than 1 year though. I mean, like I said, next month will be the 1-year anniversary of the Switch, and the Switch was able to do what took the Wii U 4 to 5 years. That literally just blows my mind on so many levels. The fact that the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, managed to do that very easily, and I think that's a good thing. I'm glad the system is doing very well and so on, and I think a lot of it has to do with maybe teaming up with NVIDIA was actually a smart move, going with the Maxwell chip and the architectural structure that looks similar to, or modern to say the least. Though, I mean, again, I'm not a huge tech expert, but that probably paid off as well. But I also think clear marketing and clear messaging definitely help. I mean, you see more ads for the Switch now than you ever did with the Wii U. So obviously, a lot of people know what the Switch is and what it's supposed to be and all. But 14.86 compared to Wii U's 13.56. I mean, oh my God, that's amazing. And they were able to accomplish this in less than a year, though. I mean, in less than a year. We're a month away. Like I said, we're a month away from the 1-year anniversary of the Switch, and it manages to do what took the Wii U 4 to 5 years. I mean, it still blows my mind on it, though. So I have to say that's definitely good for the Switch. As far as top-selling titles go, according to what Nintendo is reporting, though, and again, they're pointing this out as of December 31st, 2017, some of the new IPs in here did seem to do very well. I mean, not huge, but still, I mean, these are good numbers, to say the least. And it also points out that, let's see, what does it say? Oh, yeah. Okay, it shows off Xenoblade Chronicles 2 selling about 1.6 million. Not bad. I mean, it's a niche title. It's not going to have a huge appeal, though. But, I mean, that's not bad, though. The other one, 1.61 million, goes to ARMS, though. Again, not bad for a new IP, though. Hopefully they will continue with maybe a sequel to ARMS 2, make some improvements, but not bad for a new IP, even though it's not perfect. 1.88 million for 1-2 Switch, which, despite the game being heavily criticized, I cannot believe that game managed to sell well, but hey, it sold well. I know it's not for everyone, but it did. Splatoon 2 has 4.91 million, so obviously the sequel is doing very well. 6.70 million from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Good, definitely good. I think Breath of the Wild is a good game. 7.33 million for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is amazing considering this is a port of a game from a Wii U with all of its DLCs, but alright. And finally, last but not least, sitting at a comfortable 9.07 million, just a little bit shy under 10 million, is Super Mario Odyssey. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing that game managed to sell that well. Obviously, it was a huge hit and so on. So, my overall takeaway from this, though, is obviously these are definitely good numbers. Obviously, the Switch is off to a very good start, and the first year was definitely good for them with some very good heavy hitters, though. Year 2 for the Switch is going to be very interesting, and hopefully it will do very well. I mean, we all know what's coming up is Bayonetta 1-2 is coming up as well, and I'm sure there are some other games as well, but hopefully year 2 would be very good for the Nintendo Switch. I would like to see the system continue to take off and continue to get more support from indies to third-party developers. But overall, let's see if I could get that back again. Overall, though, I have to say 14.86 million is certainly not that bad, though. I mean, obviously it's not near the level of the Nintendo 3DS or how the PS4 is, or anywhere near the level that the original Wii is, though, but it's definitely a good start, and hopefully we'll see more of the Switch taking off. I'm hoping they can continue to keep that momentum going, but overall, this is good. This is definitely good. It's a start, but it's still good nevertheless. Alright, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we get back, we're going to get to our third and final part where we're going to be talking about a bit of information that came out regarding Mario, from a movie to a new mobile game, and some information that has just came out for Nintendo's paid online service. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with the third and final part of our My 2 Cent video for this week. And for this one, we got a couple stories that came out in the midst of Nintendo's financial report that came out, and two of them have to do with Mario, and the other one has to do with the announcement of their paid service, a bit of an update on the release date and so on. So why don't we start with the first one, and this one is regarding Mario, to be exactly though. It has been widely reported that Nintendo has announced that they are working on a Mario Kart smartphone game. From what I understand, it's been titled Mario Kart World Tour. According to the site Entertainment.ie, and again, links will be in the description of this video if you want to check it out. It's reported that A mobile version of Mario Kart called Mario Kart Tour, I thought it was World Tour, but it's called Tour to be exact, is in the works, and it's set to be released on the fiscal year ending in March 2019, according to the Japanese game giant. Mario Kart was first released in 1992 and has survived various consoles, indeed, even growing in popularity when it was released for the Wii in 2008. Is a firm favorite with fans. Mario Kart Tour will be available on both ISO and Android. I will say it's going to be very interesting to see how that game is going to play on ISO and Android devices, though. I'm curious, but I'm also a little bit concerned how that's going to work, especially with the touch screens on the controls, though. I mean, for every game like Fire Emblem Heroes that was released on mobile phones and mobile devices, I'm just not sure how this one will work, but we don't have much information to run on that one, so we'll have to wait and see how that is going to work, though. It also reports that a Mario movie is actually in the works, though. The article continues by saying, what's more, an animated Super Mario movie is also in the works, with Nintendo working with Illuminations, if I'm saying the name correctly, but it's the studio behind the Minions and Despicable Me. So far, little is known about the film, which was first rumored back in November, apart from the fact that it will be co-produced by Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto and Chris Meldrin, Meladandri. Again, I apologize if I'm saying the name incorrectly, though, but supposedly he was the man responsible for the Despicable Me franchise. As far as a Mario movie goes, though, I'm kind of mixed in some areas, though, about this. I'm sure for longtime Nintendo fans like me will remember the infamous live-action 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, though, starring, I think, John Leguizamo, if I'm saying it might have been a different actor, but I'm not sure, and the late Bob Hoskins, who I remember from the classic 80s movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, though. I mean, it's the movie that was bad. I mean, it was seriously bad, though, but it has sort of kind of gained a bit of a cult following over the years. And I think Riffix, the folks who did the Mystery Science Theater 3000, also did one on this one as well, along with other movies such as Santa Claus Meets the Martian People and the infamous worst movie of all time, Plan 9 from Outer Space by Ed Wood and all. But while I do have some concerns about this one, I do see the potential, especially with Nintendo getting involved. Obviously, Nintendo is known to be very protective of their IP, which I can understand, and at the same time I do think they maybe be a little too overprotected in some areas, though. But for them to be convinced again to do another movie, though, using their Nintendo character is pretty surprising, although Bowser did make an appearance in what I view one of the best video game movies, or a non-video game type movie, Wreck-It Ralph. Love that movie, to be exact. So, I mean, it could work. It could work if it is done right, and it's done in a way that brings in not only audiences, but brings in longtime Nintendo fans. So, I'm a little cautious about it. We don't have a whole lot of details, so we'll have to wait and see how that film plays out about it. Hopefully this one does well. Obviously, movies based on video games don't have exactly the greatest reputation of all time, particularly if you look at a lot of movies based on video games in the past that have done poorly, especially ones done by Unbol, the infamous Far Cry and all that stuff, though. Although Assassin's Creed, which was not done by him or anything, Assassin's Creed, the last one I saw, wasn't as bad as I thought that one was going to be. Although, obviously, it wasn't a hit with critics, and being released right next to Rogue One obviously didn't help. On the other hand, Castlevania was released on Netflix, and that actually was pretty good. That was very good, and it did very well. So, I do have hopes this one might be good as well, but again, it's too early to tell. We'll have to wait and see what the official trailer is. It will be kind of interesting to see what kind of story they would make out of it, though. Although I would look at, say, the Mario RPGs for inspiration for a story, though. They're not. I mean, the stories they're not Final Fantasy like, but they're still humorous and fun stories nevertheless. But overall, I'm mixed right now, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt on this. We'll have to wait and see what the first teaser trailer is and what the movie's going to be like to know for certain. So it's too early to tell at this moment, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And last but not least, if I could get it, click it out right here, is the Nintendo paid online service. And we now have an official when it's launching, though, although not the date yet, but according to what Game Radar is reporting, supposedly, unless something happens, it's going to launch in full in September. According to the article, it says, although the Nintendo Switch online service was meant to launch in 2017, Nintendo pushed it back because it wasn't ready, but now the Japanese gaming giant has confirmed it's launching in full in September this year. Like Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus, it's a paid service that allows you to play online with your friends. Currently, that's free, but that will change once Nintendo Switch online goes live. The whole thing is controlled via the smartphone app for the Android and ISO. It's actually available right now to download, but it currently only works with Splatoon 2, and it's not very well so far, but it's technically in beta. Personally, I think they need to ditch that app in a way and just go with either Discord or come up with a better solution, because obviously not everyone's happy with that app, to be exactly though. It says the service will cost $3.99, $4 to $19.99, which is $20, which when I understand the $20 one will be for like a whole year, unless that changes or anything. Right now that's the current price they're setting, but we'll have to wait and see if there's any changes down the road. And for that price, you get a few extras on top of online multiplayer support. Anyone who pays the monthly fee will gain access to classic games from Nintendo's back catalog, such as Dr. Mario and Super Mario Bros. 3, favorite video game of all time. Call me biased, but I'm sticking with that. All updates and compatible with the Switch control systems. They'll even include online leaderboard and multiplayer to bring them even further into the modern era. You also get discount on selected digital games and content in the Switch eShop, but it's not clear how this will work as of yet. So according to what they're saying, it looks like they are planning to launch this in September, provided that there isn't any delay though. There's still a little bit of more information. There's still a little bit of information we don't 100% know about, but if the rumors about the Nintendo Direct coming in mid-February are true, there are some claims we'll hear some more information about it during that Direct. I don't know if that's happening or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Personally, $20 a year isn't necessarily a bad deal, but again, that's going to depend on what they are offering, and it'll be interesting to see how this works. And does this mean we're not getting a virtual console? Is this that in order to play these games we have to have the subscription service or not? Because if that's the case, I don't know if that's going to sit well with a lot of people on that one. But again, overall, the price isn't bad, at least from what I'm seeing though. We've got somewhat of a release date, September, but we'll have to wait and see more information to see if it's worth buying or not. But I'm glad that we're finally getting some more information coming out. Hopefully they finally launch it this year, and when they do, hopefully they fix their online app or their voice chat option, because, I mean, let's face it, not everyone's happy about that one. Oh boy, not everyone is happy about it at all. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion, but what are yours? What are your thoughts about Google possibly entering the console race? Do you think it will happen? Do you think it will not happen? Do you think they will compete against Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo? Do you think they'll compete against one of them? Or do you don't think that they'll do their own thing? Or do you think it's not a game console at all? That some people are just blowing this out of proportion? And what are your thoughts about Nintendo's financial reports? Do you think these are good numbers? Do you think these are not great numbers? Do you think there are rooms of improvement Nintendo could make, though? Do you think the Switch is off to a good start or not? And last but not least, thoughts on the Mario Kart coming to mobile devices. Do you think this is a good move? Do you think this is not a good move? Do you think it will succeed? Do you think it will fail? The Mario movie. Do you have hope for this movie? Well, do you think it's going to be good? Or do you think it's going to be a flop? Or do you think it won't break the curse of, movies based on video games and it'll just be that bad or not? And what about Nintendo's online paid service? Now that they've announced announced it's September, do you think this is a good deal? Do you think it's not a good deal? Do you think there's more they could put in? Or do you think it's fine as it is right now? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. If I could hit that like button, I would appreciate it though. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal Me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, including some of the articles of the stuff I just told you about in this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!